Here we go, making Billy on, getting icy zone, flexing, I've been swerving, make it trendy.
Hey guys, welcome back to Full House MMA, where I discuss anything and all things MMA. Now today I'm going to do a quick fight breakdown on the Islam Makhachev and the Bobby Green fight tonight. Now a lot of people think that this is just going to be that basic grappler against striker sort of match. I think the layers go a little bit deeper than that. So let's start with Bobby Green. Bobby Green is a good boxer, good striker. In order to win this fight, he's going to not only have to focus on staying out of the shooting range and the body clinching range of Islam, but he's also going to have to make sure that he's able to land his own shots, which is going to deter Islam from coming in and trying to get that body lock or that single leg or that double leg and to get that sweep and get him on the mat. So Bobby's going to have to do several things. One thing I think is going to be very important for him is his lateral movement. He's going to need to be able to stay on his bicycle and keep his back off of the cage and away from the cage. Bobby needs to act like he has a repellent on his back that repels him from going and backing his back up to that cage. He needs to, at all costs, try to stay away from that, because if Islam comes in for a shot, Bobby needs to be able to push his legs back, go out into a sprawling position, and keep his legs and hopefully his body as well away from Islam's shot. Now, Bobby does have some grappling and wrestling experience as well, as most MMA guys do. But, you know, if you look at this on paper and you look at the traditional Sambo wrestlers, they just seem to have that kryptonite for the American wrestlers. And as far as MMA wrestling that seems to work perfectly in MMA, the Sambo guys seem to have it. So I would definitely give the wrestling and grappling advantage to Islam. But that's what Bobby needs to do. Bobby needs to not focus so much on what Islam's game plan is going to be, but just make sure that he's moving, that he keeps his back off the cage, and then he's still able to implement his own game plan. Bobby's hands need to be moving at all times. He needs to be throwing lots of shots. Bobby's known for good cardio, high intensity, you know, sort of boxing, kickboxing, mainly boxing for him, but boxing sort of style matches. And Bobby needs to implement that, and he needs to keep his hands going and moving. He needs to be throwing something at almost all times. I think he needs to keep a very high, intense rate of striking to really deter Islam from trying to come in the pocket and get close to him to grab a body lock or get a shot in on him. And I think for Bobby, that's one of the ways that he's maybe going to take Islam out of his game plan, possibly catch him with something, hurt him with something, you know, and you know, get him on skates and then finish him off. Islam has been knocked out before, so we do know that it's possible. Not likely, but possible. So that's what Bobby Green needs to do. As far as Islam, he has been very clear, and all of these Dagestani Sambo champions are very clear on what their game plan is to try to win this fight. So Islam is obviously going to shoot in for a body lock, try to shoot in for the legs, for a double leg, a single leg, high crotch, whatever he can get a hold of. And a lot of times, you know, they prefer to use the cage. They use the cage as almost another opponent in there to help them out, because what they'll do is they'll push their opponent, they'll close in the space, crush the space, and then they'll push their opponent's back up against the cage. And once they do that, they just put that heavy pressure, all of their body weight into their opponent, keep them up against that cage, keep them pressed up against keep their opponent, you know, having to use their energy and their muscles to try to fight them off and push them off so that they can get off of the cage. And then from there, they're going to try to grab a leg and, you know, swing them the opposite way, dump them on their backs. And then from there, it's just a Sambo and Jiu-Jitsu clinic for Islam. So it's no secret what he's going to be looking to do against Bobby today. The real question is, can Bobby implement his game plan? And, you know, like I said, a lot of people are looking at this like, hey man, Bobby needs to focus only on keeping this on the feet, because if it gets taken down to the ground, we already know Islam is the stronger fighter. That is the truth. However, If Bobby focuses too much on simply disallowing Islam to have his own game plan, then that a lot of times can set him up, you know, to get caught, for example, like with that overhand right, like that Khabib caught Conor with, that everybody was shocked about. Hey, you know, Conor's a much better striker. How did Khabib just catch Conor with a right hand and drop him? That's how he caught him. He had Conor constantly focusing on and worrying about and anticipating that shot or that takedown coming. So, you know, it caused Conor to constantly be putting his hands down, you know, getting ready to sprawl out when that shot came. And then Khabib just, you know, he faked it and then he came over top with that overhand right. So Islam is definitely going to be able to capitalize on something like that if Bobby Green starts focusing too much on the grappling of Islam, starts putting his hands down, getting ready for the shot, all that stuff. Obviously, Bobby needs to be aware of the game plan of Islam, but at the same time, he needs to keep his hands moving, keep throwing strikes, to constantly be moving and not stay in the pocket. You know, come in, land his shots, and try to get right back out. You know, he needs to try to keep his guard in tight, and he just needs to not stay in one place for long at all, because if Bobby comes in, he starts throwing a bunch of head strikes, it's only going to be a matter of milliseconds before Islam ducks up under him, gets a hold of that body, gets a hold of his legs. And unfortunately, I think if a clinch situation actually happens, then it's going to end up being Islam's fight tonight. That is a perfect segue into the last portion of this video, my prediction. I'm still going to have to go with Islam. I think he's going to get it done. I just don't think that Bobby Green is going to be able to stay away from the strong, you know, gold medal caliber sambo grappling of Islam. But I think it's going to be a heck of a fight, and I think it's going to be a lot more competitive fight than what people are giving Bobby Green credit for. With that said, I'm a Bobby Green fan. I mean, anything can happen, and Bobby Green can win this fight. He is a very, very tough fighter. And also, if he's able to implement his game plan, not pay attention so much to what Islam's game plan is going to be, implement his own, stay moving, stay cycling in and out of the pocket constantly and throwing his hands anytime Islam gets near him, there's a chance that Bobby could catch Islam with something. As I said, Islam has been knocked out, so we know that can happen. So I'm going to be watching the fight. It's free, guys. It's a fight night. You can't beat that. There's a lot of good fights on this card, and the main event is going to be a banger. So I hope you guys watch as well. See you next time.
I've been sorbing, make it trendy, we look sexy. Here we go, making really